time to cook like candy, and today I am making peppered steak and rice. My ingredients is 2 thinly sliced round steaks, sliced onion, a whole green pepper, and I'm gonna use a little parsley only because I still have some from when I was cooking with it the other day. I like this Chicago style seasoning, and it's a lot of fresh cracked pepper in there. I'll also use black pepper. I'll use a little of this basil, oregano, garlic, and sea salt seasoning, little garlic powder, a splash of sesame oil, soy sauce. You can use flour or cornstarch. I will use cornstarch and a little of flour, and I got the little bit of butter and rice. I'll start off by slicing through my steak with my butcher knife, and I like to cut them sideways, and I like the thinly sliced ones because they cook better. And I'm also probably going to make some, or Ty's going to make some cheesesteak egg rolls using the same type of steak meat because it's thin and it slices easy. So I'm just going to slice them with my butcher knife, and I'm going to cross the grain of the meat so that it won't be too tough. You can cut it however you like, but if you do your strips going across the grain, you get better quality cuts. Alright, so once I cut those down, of course I wash my hands because I'm going to do that. I'm going to sprinkle this with my oregano and basil season. And I like to season mine before they go in the pan because I want the seasons to kind of cut. So salt reduces the amount of water buildup while it's cooking. So I like to season mine so any salt or sodium can pull out some of the juices so that it can cook better. But, you know, you can do it while it's in the pan, too. So, this is pepper steak, so I'm going crazy on this pepper because it's pepper steak. Garlic powder. And that's it for right now. Just mix this all in and get ready to put it in the stove. So, while those seasonings are sitting, I'm going to go ahead and slice through my green pepper. And it's called julienne style. And I just basically...
Where you learn that?
I've always known that. Oh, but you know what was really cool, guys, is I found a cookbook that was given to me by my boyfriend's mom back in the day. And it's cool. It teaches, it's like a how to cook book, but I never opened it. So it has a lot of cool ideas and recipes, and I'll share them with y'all as I try them. But all of the fun facts and cool tools that I learned, like different cooking utensils and basically like which is the best to cook with. I know somebody asked me what's the best cookware, and I couldn't answer at the time, but now I know. So I'm gonna read through the book some more, and I'll share a fun fact every time I post. So I'm also going to slice down on my onion, and keep in mind this top part of the onion, it protects the onion. So whenever you cut through that, it starts bleeding, and that bleeding is when it starts reeking of onion smell, and then your eyes start burning. So if you can do that last before you disrupt that up there, you can get through a whole onion without crying. Ain't that right, Ty?
That's right.
Your eyes ain't hurting, are they?
No.
So you go around that part, and you just chop through your onion. And I'll start off by putting some oil in my pan. And this right here is my secret olive oil with my secret ingredients in it. I'm going to package this up for real, though, and I'll be selling it. But I'm going to get that oil warmed up, and I'm going to also put some butter in my pan. And I only need like a little for, not much. And as this gets to melting down, I'm going to go ahead and toss my steak in there. While that butter is melting, I'm about to come with my combination. I'm going to go with a couple of drops of this peanut oil.
That's really strong.
I mean, sesame oil. Sesame oil is really, really strong, but it tastes so good. Oh my gosh, it's strong though. But that sesame oil is going to balance out this. This is really salty, your soy sauce. So I'm going to put probably what would be equivalent to 2 tablespoons of soy sauce in here. But because soy sauce is so salty, that's why I didn't put any extra salt on my meat. And I'm going to put probably about a tablespoon of cornstarch in there. And I'm going to whip it up and add just a little bit of water. And that's going to be my gravy component. I keep grabbing this brand new one. So I'll put a little cornstarch in there, probably equivalent to a tablespoon. And I'm just going to blend that all together. It will be a little thick because of cornstarch. But I'm going to blend it until I get all the little lumps out. You can whisk it, you can spoon it, whatever. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of water because right now all of this is sodium and it's strong. But I'm going to add a little water in here. And I will use this as a secret ingredient once my food start cooking. My butter and oil has blended down with each other. And now I'm just going to drop this seasoned steak in here. And I'm only cooking it so it can brown. Once it's browned, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my wet ingredients. Drop my garlic in here with this and my parsley. And I'm going to let those all cook in together and brown. I'm going to save my onions and my bell pepper until it's brown. And then I'll put my juice in it. So, while that steak is over there looking good, I'm going to start my rice. So, I'm going to add 1 cup of rice. And then I'm going to add, you can either do 2 cups of chicken broth or you can do 2 cups of water. I'm going to do 2 cups of water because chicken broth is salty and the soy sauce combination that I'm already added in that steak is going to be salty. So I'm going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to sprinkle a dash of salt in there, a little butter in there, and I'm going to let it come to a boil. Once it starts boiling, I put my airtight lid on it and I reduce the heat and I let the steam cook the rice. Steak is brown. And here comes my steak's best friends. Those chopped onions and those chopped green peppers. And I'm going to let those cook in together for a second while I let them simmer and kind of get a little caramelized. Then I will come back for this with some more pepper because it's pepper steak. And then I'll go ahead and add my gravy component. At a rolling boil how I want it. Put that little top on that thing and I reduce the heat all the way down to low. Over here I have my steak and my greens and, well, my green bell peppers and my onions. I'm going to clear a little space right there and I'm going to drop probably a teaspoon of flour in the middle of this pan. And I'm going to brown this flour a little. I ain't going to do too much with it yet, but I'm going to let it brown in these little oils in here because that's going to help with my gravy solution. So I got that flour blended a little and it's good enough for me to add my wet solution and then I'm going to cover that. The wet solution that I put together, my soy. So I blend all of these in. It's going to make a gravy. It's going to get a little thick. And once I get all of this blended in and this gravy that it's making.
It smells so good.
It does. I'm going to come back with a little pepper. I'm going to add more water in this solution because I don't want it to be too thick. But I do want to give it enough juice so it can all simmer together. It's pretty much done. But I like my green bell pepper to be softer. I don't really like to crunch into them. I don't want them to be too soft, but I'm going to come back and add just a little more water in here and some black pepper. It's getting in there. There go that water to loosen that gravy up. And as you add water, you want to stir it because you don't want certain parts of the gravy to clump up and be burning. Y'all just don't know. Ty, did you want any other vegetables like some broccoli or some corn or something today?
Oh, I want some corn on the cob.
All right, I'll whip you up some corn on the cob while we letting all this simmer. So I'm going to add my water in there and get that gravy broken up some. Y'all, this smells so good. And get that corner over there. All right, so I'm going to blend this up a little. It's going to get thicker because I have a little flour and that cornstarch in there. But I'm just going to cover this and let it kind of simmer up some more. And if it gets too thick, I will add a little more water. So this pepper steak is ready. And boy, oh boy, Ty and I tasted it. It's good. My rice is ready, but my steam is what cooks my rice. Nice and plump, very plump. And we're waiting on Ty's corn because Candy don't eat corn. But I'll be back and plate it and show y'all how it looks. Rice is good. Let me grab my paper plate because we don't eat plates. We eat food. And this rice is so plump.
And perfect.
It is so perfect. I like my rice a little on the firm side, but that's why I always choose Uncle Ben's rice. So I have my rice there. And then I'm going to come over here and get at a nice little stir. Break up some of that gravy because it was having a whole family reunion. Get me a nice spoon and drop it like it's hot. Come back with a nice spoon and drop it like it's hot. Come back with a nice spoon and drop it like it's hot. I need some of this gravy though. I should have grabbed another spoon. Thank you for tuning in to Cooking Like Candy. I'm about